From the beginning, Black Lives Matter was all about understanding that we had to be more than a protest. Protests were important, but we ultimately knew we had a responsibility to change the very fabric of America that was woven in such a way that the humanity of my people was excluded.
Anybody you know fails to condemn white supremacy, remember this: if you don't condemn it, you condone it.
I wrote a letter to Black people on Facebook saying that there was nothing wrong with us and we deserve dignity and respect.
I came across Alicia's post hours later. I understood there's this thing called a hashtag, and you can make something go viral. And then I put a hashtag in front of it saying Black Lives Matter.
We come from a long legacy of protest and struggle. But now we have to galvanize, thousands and thousands of people to fight for reforms in their country and in their government. And so that's why we started Black Lives Matter as a network of 39 chapters.
Joining us now is the co-founder of that movement and the author of the new book, When They Call You a Terrorist, Black Lives Matter memoir. Patrisse Cullors, welcome to Arise 360.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. I was tired of just learning about racism and poverty. I wanted to do something about it. And so I joined the Bus Riders Union when I was 17 and a half. And I was there as a civil rights organization in Los Angeles fighting for better transit. And then I started my own organization before Black Lives Matter called Dignity and Power Now, where we fight for the rights of people who've been incarcerated inside LA County jails. My mother, of course, at first was like, what are you doing? It was very abstract for her. But when everything changed is when my older brother was, he had caught a case here in LA County, and he actually suffers from schizoaffective disorder. And he was in the middle of an episode. He wasn't taking his medicine, and he was pulled over by police, and they were trying to give him a life sentence. But my mother recognized, oh, this is what you do. You help those who are at the margins. You support communities who don't have the support and don't have the resources.
I thought it was monumentally important to go behind the statistics. I wanted Patrisse to tell her story in a full, complete way. And I was especially enraged that Black Lives Matter and the leaders of Black Lives Matter had been called terrorists when I knew that these were people dedicated deeply to peace in our communities, peace for our children. I knew the impact Patrisse had on my own daughter. And I think that the history of who we are needs to be told and needs to be documented. And that's my dedication as a writer and as an organizer.
Black Lives Matter has both been an opportunity for this country to reevaluate its values and to situate itself in this larger conversation that's really about changing the course of history. Yeah, I think we wouldn't need Black Lives Matter if all lives mattered. I think part of the pushback that we try to challenge people in when they use all lives matter, there's this beautiful analogy, which is you show up into a neighborhood and there's a burning there's houses on the block and one is burning. You don't say all houses matter. You deal with the house that is burning. The movement isn't just about Black people. It's a conversation about Black people, but we're asking everybody to join in that conversation. And we think we need everyone involved in this really brilliant and vibrant and creative movement. I want readers to invest in Black authors. There's so many amazing Black authors. It's Black authors that helped me get through my many years of witnessing state violence. I read Octavia Butler, Bell Hooks, Audre Lorde, but I also want readers to take action. Join something, join an organization. And I hope that it debunks a lot of the myths of Black Lives Matter. Yes. And I also hope that it gives people an entryway into what Black life has looked like in this country, especially for poor Black people, and how we can move into action.
The glorious and glamorous part is people in the streets and, protesting and all of that. What's not glamorous is figuring out, okay, how do we be together over the long term? How do we learn how to organize? How do we learn how to develop a set of demands that will actually transform conditions in our communities?
We are too easily negotiating with hate instead of saying we need to be on the right side of history.
Black Twitter is the matrix. Black Twitter popped it off. And because of Twitter, we know who Patrisse is. We know who Alicia is. This generation is not going to let them be nameless. They have used this new tool, and I think Black Lives Matter will define this shift in America. I think we will look at Black Lives Matter like we looked at the civil rights movement.